Good morning, beautiful people. We are live, we are live. We are live, beautiful people. Let's go. We're going to be doing the Master Key System, Part 3. One of my favorite numbers. So join us today, folks. You know how we love to start here with an attitude of gratitude. So drop what you're grateful for in the chats. As we start today, just got a little delayed this morning, but we are here anyway. So let's give thanks and let's do this. I hope you all did your exercise from yesterday. You already know. Don't even let me have to say it. If you didn't do your exercise, go back yesterday. Find the exercise and do it. And then you can come back here as we continue. Yesterday's exercise was to just sit still and inhibit your thoughts for as long as you could. And this is very valuable. This is very valuable if you learn to do this. Because then you'll be able to release thoughts of care and worry and all the like. Any undesired thoughts. But with practice, of course. So let's go. Part 3 today. We're going to start with the introduction. So, let's go. You have found... I need some water. My mouth is so dry, folks. I'm sorry. Give me a moment here. Give me a little quick moment. I'm going to pull out my big bottle of water. That time I could give you all some chance to get on a huge bottle of water. Oh yes, water is life. Isn't water such a beautiful thing? You know, on day 3 to think about it. Water exists in 3 states naturally. Only substance like that. And we're made mostly of water. So, water is very beautiful. I feel refreshed. Let's go. So, part 3. What's the name for this part? Let's check it out. I should have a name. Where is my... I don't even have it open here. My goodness. I thought I had this open. Look at it. Let's bring this up to the front. Yes. Okay. So, beautiful people, today, this part is the part where we may act on the universal. And if you were here for the last few days, you already know that to act on the universal is to think. So, we're going to pick that up today. Starting with the introduction. So you have found that the individual may act on the universal, and that the result of this action and interaction is cause and effect. So I've spoke so much about this cause and effect, this law of cause and effect. Now you gotta see what it actually is, how it works. It is actually the result of this action and interaction with the universal. So, thought therefore is the cause, and the experiences with which you meet in life are the effect. I hope you got that. Eliminate therefore any possible tendency to complain of conditions as they have been or as they are, because it rests with you to change them and make them what you would like them to be. This is probably one of the most freeing chapters if you really get it. If you really get what it's saying, man. This is powerful stuff. Direct your effort to a realization of the mental resources that is always at your command, from which all real and lasting power comes. So, all real and lasting power comes from within. You can rest in that. So, we shouldn't complain of our conditions in life. And I'm telling you, don't complain, because it's not helpful. It is not productive, and you just kind of make the conditions or effects persist. So persist in this practice until you come to a realization of the fact that there can be no failure in the accomplishment of any proper object in life if you but understand your power and persist in your object, because the mind forces are ever ready to lend themselves to a purposeful will in the effort to crystallize thought and desires into actions, events, and conditions. So this power is ever with us. All power is always everywhere. We have the power. We have the power. It's not that a beautiful thing to behold? Whereas in the beginning, each function of life and each action is the result of conscious thought. This is in the beginning. The habitual actions become automatic, and the thought that controls them passes into the realm of the subconscious. Yet it is just as intelligent as before. So it is necessary that it become automatic or subconscious in order that the self-conscious mind may attend to other things. The new actions will, however, in turn become habitual, then automatic, then subconscious, in order that the mind again may be freed from this detail and advance to still other activities. So we get to see the process here. It starts consciously. So we think thoughts consciously. We think them over and over, we repeat them. It becomes habits. These habits become automatic and then subconscious, which frees up your conscious mind to attend to other things, and this is the process. Going on and everything just becomes automatic. So anything that is difficult for you now could become automatic. That is awesome. That is really awesome. When you realize this, you will have found a source of power which enable you to take care of any situation in life which may develop. I don't know about you folks, but just listening and hearing that is beautiful for me. Because I have some conditions in my life right now that I do not like, if I'm going to be honest. So, hearing this, I know, okay, let me not complain about these conditions in my life. You know, I could try to blame other people or events or etc. But the conditions still persist. Is it a condition that you like or don't like? This is some questions we should ask ourselves. You don't like these certain conditions. Find the cause. Trace it. Like, programming is such a beautiful skill because it teaches you so much things that is applicable to life. Tracing programs is one of them. Our programs have inputs and outputs, and tracing the program is looking at the inputs you enter and seeing what happens to it as the program progresses. You're tracing the variables throughout the program. And if we would trace the conditions of our life back to the thoughts that cause them, we will be empowered because we can change those thoughts, right? We're living in this beautiful minefield. Oh, what are we going to do about it? Part 3, let's go. The necessary interaction of the conscious and subconscious mind requires a similar interaction between the corresponding systems of nerves. So this is how the conscious and the subconscious correspond, how they connect through the nerves. Good morning, Turner Sun. It connects through the nerves. So the necessary interaction of the conscious and the subconscious mind requires a similar interaction between the corresponding system of nerves. So Judge Truward indicates the very beautiful method in which this interaction is effective. He says, the cerebrospinal system is the organ of the conscious mind, and the sympathetic system is the organ of the subconscious. So the cerebrospinal is the channel through which we receive conscious perception from the physical senses and exercise control over the movements of the body. This system of nerves has its center in the brain. The sympathetic system has its center in a ganglionic mass at the back of the stomach known as the solar plexus, and is the channel of that mental action which unconsciously supports the vital functions of the body. Oh yes, sir. So the connection between the two systems is made by the vagus nerve, right? This vagus nerve is so... I can't even get into the vagus nerve today because it's so much. This vagus nerve is it's not actually just one nerve. The vagus nerve is like a set of nerve fibers. It's a bundles. It's about that thick. What about your thumb? And if you know the thickness of a nerve fiber, you could understand that's a lot of nerves and that thickness. Whatever. This vagus nerve is very important because it reaches throughout your whole body. Vague. Where does that word come from? Vagus. Vague. You know? It actually means to wander. And that vagus nerve, it wanders all around in your body. Right? Goes all up into the brain, connects to all the senses, comes down. You can't even track it after it goes down past the stomach. It goes all around, all over. I mean, I can't even track it. But it's a beautiful thing because it connects the air, all the senses. It connects the heart to the brain. The heart communicates with the brain, right? And 85% of its connection is two ways, but 85% of the connections is from the heart to the brain. So maybe that could enlighten you a little bit. The heart has powerful connections to the brain. We'll get into that later, though. The connection between these two systems is made by this vagus nerve, which passes out of the cerebral region as a portion of the voluntary system to the thorax, sending out branches to the heart and lungs, and finally passing through the diaphragm. It loses its outer coating and becomes identified with the nerves of the sympathetic system, so forming a connecting link between the two and making man physically a single entity. So this vagus nerve is what makes you whole, essentially, right? This is very important. We have seen that every thought is received by the brain, which is the organ of the conscious. It is here subjected to our power of reasoning. When the objective mind has been satisfied that the thought is true, it is sent to the solar plexus, or the brain of the subjective mind, if you will. And there it is made into our flesh to be brought forth into the world as reality. This is literally how it happens, right? As it passes through the vagus nerve, it goes through the solar plexus and then passes through all your body to actually create your body. Your body is creating and recreating itself constantly. We have tens of millions of cells being born and dying every second. So we're always recreating ourselves. And how are we doing it? Right? It depends on the signals we're sending. So I hope you're getting how important this is, folks. This is so important. Right? The subconscious mind cannot argue. It only acts. And it can only act now, because now is all there is. So it always just acting now. It accepts the conclusions of the objective mind as final. So that's why it's so important to be able to think right. To think right thoughts. There's right thinking and there's wrong thinking. And there is right thinking and there is wrong thinking. I mean, some people may disagree, but you're free to disagree. I mean, everyone is free to have their own beliefs. But truth is something that, I mean, you could deny truth, but it still persists. The solar plexus has been likened to the sum of the body because it is a central point of distribution for the energy which the body is constantly generating. This energy is very real energy, and this sun is a very real sun. And the energy is being distributed by very real nerves to all parts of the body and is thrown off in an atmosphere which envelopes the body. And the only reason we stress say that it's very real is because like sometimes it may sound like some, ethereal thing. But no, this is a specific point in your body that exists right now. The solar plexus. A plexus is a word for connections, is a point of connections. That's what plexus means, right? So the solar plexus means the sun plexus. So it's the center of the body. I don't know if you could find it. Well, somewhere around here, but to the back. So more in the center. And it's a bunch of nerves, ganglions meeting, connecting together. So it's a big mass of nerve connections. And this is what provides all the energy, all the vital force for your body. That is why if you learn in martial arts, if you punch someone directly in the solar plexus with enough force, you can kill someone with one blow. That is how powerful your solar plexus is. This is where the life springs forth to refresh your body. So this is very important. This is what, and this energy envelopes the body. We may not be able to see it, but if you go under X-ray machine or an MRI scan, you can take all the lights off in the room and you will still shine like this bright mass. You'll just be glowing. If you look at the picture on the screen, you will just be glowing. You are giving off light. It's incredible when you actually think about it. We are light beings. That is such a wonderful thing to behold. If this radiation is sufficiently strong, the person is called magnetic. Right? We understand this. When we meet somebody and they don't even have to say anything or do anything, we just feel their energy and it's just so powerful. And it's like they're magnetic, they're attractive, And everybody has that ability within. If they would release the energy that is stored up, and most of us have so much blockages that our energy just doesn't flow, and so we're all closed off. And we call those people, cold. They're hard to get to know kind of people. But you can change. You can change that. This is awesome, folks. This is awesome. When this radiation is sufficiently strong, this person is said to be filled with personal magnetism. Such a person may wield an immense power for good. His presence alone will often bring comfort to the troubled minds which he comes in contact. I'm still learning and developing, but it have people already who tells me I have similar effects, I could make people feel calm. Even though I'm so energetic and let's go, I could still make people feel calm and comfortable, relaxed, at ease. There's so much stress in life. So much things people stressing about all the time. Always worried and fearful and, oh my goodness, just come into this wholesome space and just be whole and be at rest, be at ease. And feel the power that's flowing within you right now. Just take a deep breath and feel that energy, folks. Just feel it. Oh my goodness, it's wonderful. When the solar plexus is in active operation and is radiating life, energy and vitality to every part of the body and to everyone whom he meets, the sensations are pleasant. The body is filled with health, and all with whom he comes in contact experience a pleasant sensation. And you could experience that too. You can be the pleasant sensation that people experience. Try that. If there's any interruption of this radiation, the sensations are unpleasant. The flow of life and energy to some part of the body is stopped, and this is the cause of every ill to the human. Understand this. The cause of all sickness, all illness, all disease in the body is from some blockage of this flow of vital energy. This is how important the solar plexus is. The solar plexus is, I hope I'm stressing it enough. I know I get a little excited sometimes, but it's really to just give emphasis to how important these things are, because we just kind of gloss over them. If we even ever learned about these kind of things, we don't really learn these things in school, but if we did, we just kind of gloss over it. We're like, no, yeah, okay. And we don't really stop and recognize how important these things are if we were really to apply them to ourselves, and we could do it today. Physical, because this is physical because the sun of the body is no longer generating sufficient energy to vitalize some part of the body. It's mental because the conscious mind is dependent upon the subconscious mind for the vitality necessary to support its thought. And environmental because the connection between the subconscious mind and the universal mind is being interrupted. So that's how important the solar plexus is, right? It is what supports the vital life in the body. So if it's interrupted or blocked, your body would stop recreating itself. Hey, big up man like Shoaib. Now I'm gonna hear from you, brother. I hope you're blessed. Everything is going good. I ain't hear from you in a little while. I hope everything's cool. But this solar plexus, oh my goodness. The energy that comes from here is incredible. But if it is blocked, that means your body does not have the energy it needs to recreate itself. And so your body will start to die. And then your brain depends upon these functions to carry out its functions, right? Your brain is just this set of nerve cells and glial cells, right? Just make it simple. And so if these cells are not given the nutrients, the nourishment they need to continue living, they die. And without your brain cells, you can't think. So I hope you understand how these things are linked and how powerful this is. Please, I hope you're getting it. The solar plexus, it is the point at which part meets with the whole. But I went too fast. I just talked about the body. What about the mind? Okay, I just talked about the mind. What about the environment, which is the last thing I just mentioned earlier? I'll discuss this here actually. Because the solar plexus, oh my goodness, as I say, is where the part meets the whole. So it's where the finite becomes infinite and where the uncreate becomes create. The universal becomes individualized. This is the point at which this infinite intelligence, this universal mind and force enters the body, if you will. It's through the solar plexus, right? This is where it becomes individualized. The invisible becomes visible. So it is the point at which life appears, and there is no limit to the amount of life an individual may generate from this solar center. There is no limit to the amount of life an individual may generate from this solar center. If you were in my series before on psycho-cybernetics, you would understand that if we want more life, we must desire more life. We must make it necessary to have more life, and we will get it, right? If it's like, okay, say I go to work out. If I work out every day, you need a certain amount of energy to work out. So if you work out every day, the energy will be provided. If you never work out, let's say you live a sedentary life, you always sitting still, you're behind this desk on your computer or whatever, you don't move much, You don't need much energy to move. And so you lose that energy. I hope you're getting this. Life is an adaptive force. So if you need more life, it will be provided. If you don't need it, it will be taken away. It's the same way Jesus said, for those who have, more will be given. And for those who don't have, even what you have will be taken. This center of energy is omnipotent because it is the point of contact with all life and all intelligence. It can therefore accomplish whatever it is directed to accomplish, and herein lies the power of the conscious mind. The subconscious can and will carry out such plans and ideas as may be suggested to it by the conscious mind. So why don't suggest ideas of success? Why not imagine success? That's my question. Think about that. Conscious thought, then, is master of the sun center from which the life and energy of the entire body flows. And the quality of the thought which we entertain determines the quality of the thought which the sun will radiate. And the character of the thought which our conscious mind entertains will determine the character of thought which the sun will radiate. And the nature of the thought which our conscious mind entertains will determine the nature of the thought which the sun will radiate. And consequently will determine the nature of the experience which will result. You see how it all works together. We are whole people. That's why I want to help people to become more whole, to be wholesome. So much people divided, They're really just living half their life, which is a tragedy. We have so much and we don't even know. It's like we're living in a mansion and we're just locked in our bedroom. And we don't know the rest of the mansion exists. And we could explore and experience and enjoy it. And we're just stuck in this bedroom. Maybe not even a bedroom. More like a dungeon in the basement. For most people. But the thought that you entertain determines how the sun radiates. I find that to be so magnificent. It is evident, therefore, that all we have to do is let our light shine. Oh my goodness. Let your light so shine. That is literally true. It is literally true. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. I know somebody is getting somewhere in the world, it's somewhere in space-time, somebody is getting this and they're jumping up and down because they realize the truth. Oh my goodness. That person could be me in the future, listening back to this and jumping up and down, realizing, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. This is so beautiful. All we have to do is let our light shine. The more energy we can radiate, the more rapidly we shall be able to transmute the undesirable conditions into sources of pleasure and profit. And I know you want some pleasure and profit. I want pleasure and profit, and we can have it. The important question then is how to let this light shine, how to generate this energy. I'm telling you, this energy is within you right now. Oh, do you feel it? Do you feel it? Whew. Non-resistant thought expands the solar plexus. We talked about this in our series on the game of life. To be non-resistant. The most non-resistant person cannot be resisted by anyone. When you're completely non-resistant, no one will be able to resist you. It's such an interesting concept. Go and look up circuits and then check out zero resistance circuits and see what you find. Might lead you down into a beautiful rabbit hole. But please, listen, please. Non-resistant thought expands the solar plexus. Resistant thought contracts it. So we can make it binary here. Very simple. Pleasant thought expands it. Unpleasant thought contracts it. Thoughts of courage, power, confidence, and hope all produce a corresponding state. But the one arch enemy of the solar plexus, which must be absolutely destroyed before there is any possibility of letting any light shine, is fear. We must conquer fear. This enemy must be completely destroyed. It must be eliminated. It must be expelled forever. It is the cloud which hides the sun, which causes a perpetual gloom. You know, look at those gloomy days, those rainy days. Those clouds, that's the fear. But it's just passing. Let it dissipate. Let the light shine forth through. It is this personal devil which makes men fear the past, the present, and the future. Fear themselves, their friends, and their enemies. Fear everything and everybody. When fear is effectually and completely destroyed, your light will shine. The clouds will disperse, and you will have found the source of power, energy, and life. This is so incredible because I'm telling you, so much people just live constantly in fear. Constantly. Always fearful. It's like the base response. I don't even understand it. Like, and this is my experience. Like, I would, like, it have so much people. I would just, like, okay, this happens a lot. I would just appear out of nowhere, and people get scared. The first response is always fear. And that is, I always be bewildered by it. You know, like, say I just pop up from around a corner or just behind them, and they didn't recognize I was there. And as soon as they do, they're like, whoo, you scared me. I'm like, why? Why is fear your first response? Why? What are you afraid of? You know? But people rarely actually stop and pause and think about why it is they were afraid. And it's such an automatic response, and they got so used to it, it's just normal for them. But they don't really stop and think, okay, why am I afraid? What really caused that fear? You just think it's an automatic emotion? No. There's a thought there. It's so automatic, we don't realize. But there's a thought that caused the fear. Why are we afraid? You know, this fear, it shrinks, it contracts this solar plexus, this sun center. What are we going to do about it? Are we going to continue to just live our lives in fear? Fear is what brings disease into the body because it contracts the solar plexus. When it contracts the solar plexus, which produces all the life force or the vital energy, we have less of this life force to use. And so we literally diminishing ourselves. We're aging ourselves. But I can't really go into the details of that. I don't have the time right now. But just know that this fear, we must conquer this fear. Right? We must. We must. Because this is what is keeping you from shining your light. Your beautiful light that people need. When you find that you are really one with the infinite power, and when you can consciously realize this power by a practical demonstration of your ability to overcome any adverse condition by the power of your thought, you will have nothing to fear. Fear will have been destroyed, and you will have come into possession of your birthright. Your birthright. You know what a birthright is? It means you have a right from birth. From birth. I can't even really go into the implications of that. I already started late, so I don't think I'll have the time. But follow on. Come back every day. You'll get a little piece. We get a little piece every day, and we'll get a little better every day. If you could just get 1% better every day for these 30 days, you may not even recognize yourself after if you were to really apply these principles. It is our attitude of mind toward life which determines the experiences with which we are to meet. If we expect nothing, we shall have nothing. Right? People will say, you know, I don't expect anything, so you don't be disappointed. Well, I mean, that's one way to look at it. Sure. But if you expect nothing, you will have nothing. And sure, I guess you could not be disappointed with nothing. But it's still nothing. So, like, I don't know if it works. If we demand much, we shall receive the greater portion. The world is harsh only as we fail to assert ourselves. The world is harsh only as we fail to assert ourselves. Okay, let me come back. To the person in the back. The world is harsh only as we fail to assert ourselves. Assert yourself. Stand up on your two hind legs. Put your chest up and your shoulders back. Stand tall and proud and assert yourself. You can be assertive and confident. This is common knowledge, folks. Like in the business world, for example, if you do not assert yourself, you do not ask for the sale, you don't offer something, you will not sell anything. You must assert. And so many people are afraid to assert themselves. They learn so much negative and limiting beliefs growing up. You know that, it's not good to assert yourself. You shouldn't just, how you can just be yourself. And, what about the other people? And, what about what they think? And, come on, folks, forget about that. Forget about it. First of all, they're not even thinking about you. You think they're thinking about you? That's a waste of thought. They're not thinking about you. So forget it. You need to think for yourself and determine what it is you want. And if you know what you want, you have to determine to have it. The criticism of the world is better only to those who cannot compel room for their ideas. It is the fear of this criticism that causes many ideas to fail to see the light of day. Oh, I know this to be true. I have personal experience of this. Fear of criticism, it could hold you back. And guess who's the greatest critic? Guess. It's you. You are your greatest critic. And nobody can criticize you more than you. So if you learn to control yourself, life could be beautiful. And it could be beautiful right now. But the man who knows, the one who knows that he has a solar plexus will not fear criticism or anything else. He will be too busy radiating courage and confidence and power. He will anticipate success by his mental attitude. He will pound barriers to pieces and leap over the chasm of doubt and hesitation which fear places in his path. Fear makes this big chasm. Courage will impel you to jump. Jump. Leap it. And you can. You don't even know what you can do, folks. Don't let anybody tell you you can't, I mean, you could tell yourself you can't, but don't let anybody else tell you can't. And let that be the final truth. It's up to you. Knowledge of our ability to consciously radiate health, strength, and harmony will bring us into a realization that there is nothing to fear because we are in touch with infinite strength. I don't know. I feel like this maybe is it's too high. I don't know if we're getting it. I want everybody to be able to understand this. Like, no matter where you're starting off, because this is so powerful, folks. This is so powerful. You are in touch with the infinite strength. You can radiate health. Okay, I mean, if you don't believe, you don't have to believe me. Test these things out for yourself. In fact, just go and Google it. Just go Google it. I mean, so many people trust Google these days. They trust Google more than themselves. So Google it then. And actually do the research. Look at medical journals. Read them. I mean, if that's too much work for you, just listen to me. I've done it for you. so that you don't have to. But I mean, if you're so skeptical, you can't believe me, go do the search for yourself and see. The medical journals, they stated clearly, in the end, it is the body that heals itself. No matter what medical intervention comes into play, the end result is that the body heals itself, right? Medical interventions actually do one of two things. It either stimulates an underworking healing mechanism, or it reduces or suppresses an overworking healing mechanism. But essentially, the body is the one that heals itself. Always. And it is the body that makes itself sick. Like 75% of people going into the doctor is caused from psychosomatic ills, is what it is. Which means that essentially it means they taught themselves sick. They taught themselves into sickness. And this happens constantly. All the time, people don't even know. They're not aware that you are in charge of your health. So, knowledge of our ability to consciously radiate health and strength and harmony. This will bring us into a realization that there's nothing to fear. Nothing to fear. Once you are connected with Source, what do you have to fear? This knowledge can be gained only by making practical application of this information. You could hear this and it could go in one ear and out the next, and it will never affect your life. You could go on living whatever life you live in. But if you will just determine to test the principles here and see if it is true or not. I mean, I could just be full of shit, just babbling my mouth. Perhaps you will not know until you test it out for yourself. And that's what I'm trying to get you to do, folks. We have to make practical application of this information. We learn by doing. It's through practice the athlete becomes powerful. Oh, we learn by doing. We learn by doing. As the following statement is of considerable importance, I will put it in several ways so that you cannot fail to get the full significance of it. If you are religiously inclined, I would say you can let your light shine. You'll understand exactly what I mean. If your mind has a bias towards physical science, I would say you can wake the solar plexus, and you will know what I mean. Or if you prefer the strictly scientific interpretation, I will say that you can impress your subconscious mind, and you should know what I mean. I have already told you what the result of this impression will be. It is the method in which you are now interested. You have already learned that the subconscious is intelligent and that it is creative and responsive to the will of the conscious mind. What then is the most natural way of making the desired impression? Mentally concentrate on the object of your desire. When you are concentrating, you are impressing upon the subconscious. Concentration is impression. Concentration is impression. This is why athletes basically worship at the altar of concentration or focus. Focus, that's it. Focus and concentration, the same thing. But go and ask any successful person, they will tell you the secret to success is focus. In fact, they asked Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. They were at a dinner together and with other people. And they asked them, what is the secret to success? And at the same time, they both said, focus. Focus. But you just say focus, nobody really know what you mean, okay? Just focus, that's all I need. How does that work? How's that gonna make me successful? I'm showing you exactly how. I've given you the details bit by bit. So, you know what? I think God is making this happen so that you have no excuses. If you're hearing and seeing this, you will have no more excuses to continue living a life that you don't deserve or don't desire or that you don't want. You'll have no more excuses after this. So, mentally concentrate on the object of your desire. This is not the only way, however, but it is a simple and effective way, and the most direct way, and consequently the way in which the best results are secured. It is the method which is producing such extraordinary results that many think that miracles are being accomplished. When you start to work with this, you will really believe it's miracles. Miracles possible. They happen every day. We just don't recognize them. It is the method by which every great inventor, every great financier, every great statesman has been enabled to convert the subtle and invisible force of desire, faith, and confidence into actual, tangible, concrete facts in the objective world. And you don't have to believe me. You just go and find it for yourself. Oh, I got in some performance issues here. Let me see. Let me extract. And no, I'm not going to extract anything else. You will perform. Okay, so if you ask, okay, I said it enough. I will not say it. Okay, I probably will say it again. Because I can't say it enough. Right? I hope I get this over to you. This is how every great inventor does it. This is how every great financier does it. I don't know anything else you would want more than that. The subconscious mind is a part of the universal mind. The universal mind is the creative principle. The creative mind, the universal mind, is the creative principle of the universe. And a part must be the same in kind and quality as the whole. This means that this creative power is absolutely unlimited. It is not bound by precedent of any kind. And consequently, it has no prior existing pattern by which to apply its constructive principle. We have found that the subconscious mind is responsive to our conscious will, which means that the unlimited creative power of the universal mind is within the control of the conscious mind of the individual. Wow. I need to cue that little gif I have here, like, wow. I actually think I have it, Yeah, I have it. Okay. Let's do this real fast. We should make this a thing. I don't know how to flip. Okay, I was like, how to flip the camera? Wow. Yes, folks. Wow. That's how I feel. So, when making a practical application of this principle in accordance with the exercises given in the subsequent lessons, it is well to remember that it is not necessary to outline the method by which the subconscious will produce the results you desire. You don't need to tell the subconscious how to work. You just need to let it work. You need to trust that it will work, and it shall. Right? The finite cannot inform the infinite. Really listen. The finite cannot inform the infinite. Right? We as finite individuals, why do you think you could inform the infinite? The infinite knows more than you. And it knows a better way to get what you desire. A way that you would not have think or dreamed of. And it can happen. It could happen for you now. So, the finite again cannot inform the infinite. You are simply to say what you desire, not how you are to obtain it. You are the channel by which the undifferentiated is being differentiated. And this differentiation is being accomplished by appropriation. It only requires recognition to set causes in motion which will bring about results in accordance with your desire. And this is accomplished because the universal can only act through the individual, and the individual can act only through the universal. They are one. They are one. So, for your exercise today, I will ask you to go one step further. I want you to not only be perfectly still and inhibit all thoughts as far as possible, but relax. Let go. Let the muscles take their normal condition. This will remove all pressure from the nerves and eliminate that tension which so frequently produces this physical exhaustion. People tell me, oh, I'm exhausted today. And I mean, I could understand, you go through life. I had to go to school. I had to do work. I had other things too. I had to go to school. I had to do work. I had to work on my business. It's so tiring. I'm exhausted. Well, if you learn how to relax, you can eliminate that tension. And it's really that tension that produces exhaustion, because the tension is your muscles tensing up because it's getting ready to act, to do something. But you can relax and do nothing, and there's no tension, so no exhaustion. Physical relaxation is a voluntary exercise of the will, and the exercise will be found to be of great value, as it enables the blood to circulate freely to and from the brain and the body. And you want that blood circulating. You want it flowing with no restrictions. Tensions lead to mental unrest and abnormal mental activity of the mind. It produces worry, care, fear, and anxiety. Right? Relaxation is therefore an absolute necessity in order to allow the mental faculties to exercise the greatest freedom. So release your tension. Release your inhibitions. Feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you. Only you can let it in. Beautiful words. Make this exercise as thorough and complete as possible, please. Mentally determine that you will relax every muscle and nerve until you feel quiet and restful and at peace with yourself and the world. The solar plexus will then be ready to function, and you will be surprised at the wonderful result. So here, folks, we come to the end of another part. I'll just go through this quick Q&A, 10 questions and answers, and then we'll end it there. So thank you for staying with me this long. I hope you've gotten some value, and we're going to finish it off in a couple of minutes here. So first, what system of nerves is the organ of the conscious mind? Well, yes, the cerebrospinal system. That is correct. And what system of nerves is the organ of the subconscious mind? That is the sympathetic system. We know of the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. It's like I'm doing a little bio class here. But I mean, these are things we should know because it's part of you. You should know you. Most people don't know themselves. Anyways, what is the central point of distribution for energy which the body is constantly generating? The solar plexus. How may this distribution be interrupted? By resistant, critical, discordant thoughts, but especially by fear. What is the result of such interruption? Every ill with which the human race is afflicted. That is the result. How may this energy be controlled and directed then? By conscious thought. How may fear be completely eliminated? Is that even possible? By an understanding and recognition of the true source of all power, and knowing that all power is always everywhere. What determines the experiences with which we meet in life? Well, our predominant mental attitude, of course. How may we awake this solar plexus? Great question. Mentally concentrate upon the condition which we desire to see manifested in our lives. What is the creative principle of the universe? Well, that is the universal mind. And we Our subconscious is a part of this universal mind. So, I hope you got some value today, folks. Don't forget to do your exercise today. Sit in the same position, in the same chair, in the same room, same place. Sit perfectly still. Inhibit all thoughts as far as possible. But you don't need to resist them. I mean, this is a whole class by itself, but it's not about resisting your thoughts. Those just make them stronger. If we don't resist them, you can inhibit all your thoughts. Just relax and focus on your breath. Concentrate on your breath. That which is giving you life constantly. And just determine to relax and let go. You could always consciously relax a little more. Just relax the muscles in your feet. Relax the muscles in your legs. Relax the muscles in your arms, in your body. Oh, just relax. And your solar plexus will be ready to take action. So I hope I brought some value today, folks. I wish you a beautiful day. Don't forget the exercise and join us back again tomorrow for a little more as we go a little deeper and we get a little better. We're rising high, we're going fast because this was built to last. So wake up your whole self, fuck. Wake up your whole self, not half. Your whole self.